The FOMC minutes are out today. What will they tell you? We're going to tell you in advance. I'm Bill. This is Toby.
I'm Messy.
We are Unhinged Crypto. We are coming out with a Patreon and Discord for premium members, along with an NFT project spearheaded by our star artist. Give you a hint, that's not me. Right, so you want to be here and stay tuned, like and subscribe to the channel so you know when all that's coming out. In the meantime, FOMC, are they done tightening? What will they say? Are they spooked about something that's out there? What is the mood of the Fed, and who better to do that than Toby?
It's all in the cards.
It's all in the cards.
Okay. So let's do a 3-card poll on what's the Fed thinking? What are they going to release in the minutes? See what happens. All this is very exciting.
Very exciting.
Because the cards have been pretty good so far.
They have been.
Let's see. All right, we're doing the past. We have the Hermit card.
Okay.
So finding your own truth, finding your own path, but also, disconnecting from what everybody else is doing, the whole social thing. I mean, hermit, it's pretty, hiding in a cave, really. And, that kind of makes sense to me. I don't know. You can interpret it better than me. And then for the present, we have the Queen of Cups. I put this on a coin the other day. Yeah, so very emotional. So the Queen is near the highest expression of the element of water, right? So that suggests a lot of movement, fluidity, very emotional. It's not a very stable card, it's not bad, it's just that it's more like, I don't know, there's some worry is the thing that's coming to me. There's some concern, and people are making decisions based on an emotional feeling rather than maybe cold hard facts. Okay. And let's see, future. Knight of Pentacles. Slow growth. So that's good. Knights are always, a movement coming in, but because it's disc, earth element, it's not as, like the Knight of Wands is the crazy guy who rushes in where angels fear to tread, right? But the King of Pentacles, he's not like that. It's more thoughtful. So it's a little bit of a movement card. It's a growth card, let's say, more than anything, but more slow growth, a little more planned, but not as stable as like the King of Coins would be, very rigid, So he's a little more flexible than, say, the King, a little bit more, it's a youthful figure, so maybe a little more impetuous or not as cautious as, say, the King would be, right? So that's why it indicates a little bit of movement and growth. Just because it's a coin, earth card, it's a little bit slower. Okay.
All right, so let's talk about that.
Okay.
So the Hermit, they tried to hide from inflation. They tried to tell us that it was transitory, was their word, that it would just go away.
Well, it always, I mean,
that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
right?
That's interesting.
And then, after they got done telling us it was transitory, they basically had a panic. They had to take interest rates from 1% to 5% quickly, right? With a lot of tough talk.
Yeah.
Right? So that was the acting emotion. They said it was based on such and such a data, but the reality was, justifiably so, they were panicking. Right.
Yeah.
Now with the King card, right, he's probably going to be more rational. They may acknowledge certain risks in the banking system, right? They may have to start kind of backtracking. Now, I know they want to stay tough on inflation, right? They have to, because that's been their line. That's their job. So they're government, but let's give them the benefit of the doubt, assume they want to do their job.
Yeah.
Right. But he may be, or people on the committee may be more measured. Or, there may be people on the committee protesting saying we should be more aggressive. I don't think they can be. Right? You're saying slow growth, which to me, like if I had to say something, it would be they're going to do something where they alternate interest rate hikes. So they'll say we'll pass on this meeting, and then perhaps go to the next meeting before they potentially do another hike.
Okay.
So did you get anything else?
I just pulled 3 more cards. So in the past, we have the moon, which is interesting because that goes to a little bit of disillusionment, right? So, so the moon with the hermit would be, you know, like hiding from the baying of the dogs, or being believing in a reality that doesn't really exist, you know. And then what we got again for the present, Knight of Cups, again, a movement card, not a very stable movement, and it indicate emotion. There's a lot of emotion here. Lots and lots of emotion.
Sleep, right.
Yeah. Well, we're not getting a bad card. That's what's really interesting here. I mean, we're not getting like a sword
We're not
card.
getting losing sleep.
Well, no, we're not getting like a sword card. It's more like just being. So the Knight of Cups as a character, right? Like if it pulls up in a reading, so you can figure out how it goes with markets. But the Knight of Cups, he's a foolishly romantic character. So not like the Knight of Wands who rushes in with a lot of passion and fire. So this would be somebody who has like these romantic ideals, who kind of sees themselves as a knight in shining armor sort of a thing, saving their lady, you know, that sort of of a character, right? And then in the future card, we got the Chariot, which is actually a really good card. So I'm not seeing anything that's really indicating whether or not they will raise rates in this particular reading. But when I did a reading, oh gosh, it's been a few months ago, right after they did the one raise, I go, there'll be one more, and then they're going to stop. So it's still, that still feels very true to me, that I think they've been raising and raising and raising, and it's really not doing anything except for making the banks more risky. I mean, as you say, I don't know any of the stuff. I just hear what was. I don't. No, I just listen to.
Well, I mean, they wanted. He wanted to go down in history as one of the Fed chairmen that helped stop inflation. I mean, you never want things to get out of control.
Oh yeah, if that's your main job.
Notion
Yeah.
To
be the hero.
To be the hero who stops inflation, right?
Yeah. But the Chariot card, let me finish with the Chariot card so you can put the future interpretation, because that's the critical thing here. So then you've had the Chariot card many times, so you're kind of used to it now. You're learning all the cards. He's going to throw me away. He's not going to give me any.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
He's going to be like, I don't need Toby to read the cards. Yeah. So the Chariot is an interesting card because it's about balance. And this is what makes me think that they're not going to go extreme another way, right? But that they need to rein the horses in, right? So it's a movement card, which is great. So things are going to move. It's another movement card here for the future. We're going to start seeing changes, but this is about balance, right? Because you have 2 horses. So there's raise the interest rates, but there's something else that they're not doing that they could do. Because I think if they raise the rates again, as you said, you got to start worrying about what's going to happen to the banks. And we've been having all these bank failures. And it does feel like there's going to be more. But maybe not anything horrible for a while. So, but the Chariot card is about being balanced, right? Not letting one horse run away. And that's kind of what's been going on. They're a one-trick pony with their inflation, raise the interest rates, right? It's not working. So they have to come up with a new, more balanced strategy. They have another angle that they can use, the other horse that they haven't been using. And that's what needs to be done.
Okay. And I would say the other horse would be letting actually market forces control inflation if necessary. In other words, Powell can say indirectly, our job is done in terms of raising short-term interest rates. But if inflation needs to be controlled, the other horse is the bond market.
Well, you keep saying that. So
Let the bond market do it if it needs to be done. You know, so a steady Fed, right, but a bond market turned loose to solve the problem, right? The other course.
So let's see what they say today when it's
Right.
released, right? And then maybe we can do a reading on what's going to happen with bonds, so you can, kind of help people out with what to do there. Not a bonds are boring. It's just I'm not a fan. No, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that want that information.
Right, well, there is. So if the Fed's gonna let the bond market do it, bond traders, pay attention, subscribe to the channel for more.
Let's talk again soon.